Yeah, Hotep everybody. As the title implies, earlier today I went up to Coastal Health and Wellness to try to speak with somebody in charge so that I could get some more information about this 9,500 people possibly exposed to hepatitis and HIV story. I went up there to try to talk to somebody to get some answers and to get some updates and to get some clarity on exactly how did this happen and what is being done about it and what is going to be done about it in the event that multiple members of our community are infected. Now, I just want to say this. I never personally was a patient at Coastal Health and Wellness, but I live in this community, just like many of you live in this community. And I'm not sure. I've talked to several people, but I haven't spoken with everybody, so I'm not sure if everyone is perceiving this situation like I am. I know there's a lot of people in the community who see this thing like I do, but I'm not sure about how everybody else feels. I don't know um, the gravity of the situation in the opinion of others, or the magnitude of the situation in the opinion of others. But it's something major in my opinion and how I feel about it, and so I'm making it my business to stay abreast of the situation and to keep you informed as much as I can. So a little background on the story. I suggest you go and look it up. But Coastal Health and Wellness came out and said that the health department, the Galveston County Health Department, had closed them down because they had potentially, possibly, maybe exposed over 9,500 people to hepatitis, HIV, and several other viruses. Right? And they were saying that the people that may have been infected were infected somewhere between March of 2015 to February of 2018. So earlier today, I personally went up to Coastal Health and Wellness, walked in the door. I saw three ladies sitting at the front desk. Okay, so one lady, she invites me over. She, can I help you, sir? I tell her, yes, ma'am. My name is Matthew Daniels. I'm a concerned member of this community, and I'm here on behalf of myself and on behalf of members of the community. And I would like to speak with someone in charge of this situation that I'm hearing about on the news about the 9,500 people being possibly exposed to deadly viruses. So the lady then asks, am I a patient? So I tell her, no. Again, I'm a concerned citizen. I'm a member of this community, and I'm a concerned community member. And I'm only here to talk to somebody to get some questions answered and to get some up-to-date information to find out what's going on and just to make individuals in charge aware that the community is watching. So she tells me that since I'm not a patient and I'm just here to get answers, that I need to go to the building next door. I need to go next door, and it'll be a lady inside next door, and I need to speak with her. So I went next door, which took me to it seemed like it's connected and it's one entity, but the health department has nothing to do with Coastal Health and Wellness, just to put that out there. So what I did was I went next door, I walked in, so I walk in the front door, it's a police officer sitting down to my right in a chair, and it's a table laid out with papers and information on top of it, and it's two ladies sitting at the table. So one of the ladies at the table asked me, hey, how you doing, sir? Can I help you? And I basically give her the same spiel that I gave the lady at the Coastal Health and Wellness. My name is Matthew Daniels. I'm a concerned member of the community. I'm here for A, B, C, and D. So one of the ladies stood up and she told me that, oh, if I'm not a patient, if I'm just here to get some answers, she told me that she could give me an email address or a telephone number that I could either email or call, and they would be more than happy to answer all of my questions. To which I responded, if the person I'm going to be emailing or if the person I'm going to be calling works inside of this building, I'm already here, they're already here, I would really prefer to speak to somebody in person. I let her know in no uncertain terms that I'm here on behalf of myself, right? But I'm also here on behalf of the community. And you have individuals in the community that are upset, frustrated, afraid, angry, confused, and people in the community are ready to come up here with picket signs, ready to protest, ready to march, and ready to demand that something be done about this. So I told her that I was just trying to come up here and see how transparent it was, try to get some information, talk to somebody that's in charge, and find out what's going on to assess the threat to the community that I'm a member of. So she tells me that she's going to get on the phone with the individual in the building that's in charge of the operation and get him to come out there and speak with me. So I sit down, I wait, she called. A man named Randy Valson come out. His title is the Director of Epidemiology and Public Health Emergency Preparedness. Right? So Randy Valson is the guy who works for the Galveston County Health District, who is over the operation to that not only shut down Coastal Health and Wellness, but to also get the individuals in to be tested. The health department is in charge of that. The health department is in charge of the testing. The health department is in charge of the results, and the health department is in charge of making people aware of the results. So I spoke with him for quite some time, and like I say, he was very transparent. He answered all of my questions, and he gave me a lot of good information. And some of that information I would just like to share with y'all. So I'm not going to say word for word exactly how the conversation went because I really don't remember, but it's a few key things, a few high notes that I wanted to hit for sure. Okay, so one thing I asked him was, how did this happen? I know we saw in the newspaper that some procedures was laxing, things weren't being sanitized properly, but I asked them, how was this allowed to happen? What is it that Coastal Health and Wellness was doing or were not doing that potentially exposed everybody to these viruses? So what it seems like, is he explained to me that it's primarily the dental side of Coastal Health and Wellness. And when individuals were coming in to have dental work done, the utensils and equipment that were being used to perform the dental operations on those patients was not being cleaned and sanitized properly. Now, he made it a point to stress that he's not saying that they were not being cleaned and sanitized, but he is definitely saying that it was not being documented that they were being cleaned and sanitized. And my position on that is, you may have people who are not cleaning and sanitized, but they're pencil whipping the book and they're documenting that they're doing it, but they're really not. But when you have a situation where they're not even documenting, they're not even pencil whipping, they're not even pretending to do it, they're definitely not doing it, in my opinion. No one is going to actually take the proper procedure step by step and just forget to document it in the logbook. If anything, they are not doing it and they are documenting it, saying that they are. So the numbers that you have, the information that you have, is pencil whipped. So if they're not even pencil whipping it, they're not sanitizing and cleaning it. So he basically said that that's what it is. So you may have people that's going in to get a tooth pulled, right? You go in to get a tooth pulled. Let's say you're infected with HIV or hepatitis or one of those other diseases. After they finish the operation inside of your mouth, they do not clean and sanitize the equipment properly. So you come in behind me and you get a tooth pulled. And they use those utensils that were not cleaned and sanitized properly. It's a possibility that you'll get whatever I get. And this problem has been going on for like 3 years. Like 3 years. So the thing that I wanted to touch on that is procedures. Okay, I want y'all to think about something. Even with that, did you know that they also closed the clinic in Galveston? There was a sister city to Coastal Health and Wellness in Texas City, also in Galveston. They closed that one too. So after he explained to me about the lapse in procedures and the some of the specific operations that they feel like they were using equipment that wasn't sanitized properly. Procedures such as tooth being pulled out, if you went in there to get cavity work done, went in there to get fillings and things of that nature, right? So my thing was, if it was just the procedures and they weren't documenting properly how they were supposed to at the Texas City Coastal Health and Wellness, why did the one in Galveston get closed too? So I asked them straight up, were they lapsing in the same procedures that the one in Texas City was lapsing in? And he told me yes. So my thing was, it looks a little funny now and it looks a little fishy, because not only did you fail at it in this location, you failed at it in another location, which almost makes it appear that the failure was not an accident or an oversight. It was intentional in the sense of it was how business was being ran. Okay? It was how business is being ran. So I also asked the guy, why did they wait 38 days? Okay, did y'all know that they waited 38 days from the time the health department found out about the potential victims, right, to the time that they informed the public? I asked him about that, and he basically said that it took them 38 days to actually find out how many people could possibly have been affected. You know, they noticed the lapse in procedures or the lapse in the documentation of the procedures, and then they had to go back and see how long has this been going on. And once they figured out how long it had been going on, they then had to ascertain how many people were seen for certain procedures during this time period. And from that line of questioning is how they got the number 9,500 people possibly exposed, through looking into that, you know. But what I went into with him, and what the community has to be concerned about, what you really have to think about, is not only about the 9,500, it's about the 9,500 that went and were possibly exposed to this and then came back in their own individual lives and possibly exposed individuals that they are interacting with to these viruses. A man goes in, gets a tooth pulled, gets infected with a disease, and comes out and infects his wife. And if he cheating on his wife, infect her. And then if his wife cheating on him, or just anything, or they may not be husband and wife. They may not be together like that. They may just be dating. They may just be, having fun, casual, a casual encounter. But you just went up here and got some cavity work done and became infected, and now you come out into the community and you infect this person. So what I was trying to get him to understand, and what I was asking at that point, is there some type of contingency plan for some type of outbreak? And when I say outbreak, I don't want y'all to, I'm not talking about nothing crazy, no conspiracy, no zombie apocalypse, nothing crazy like that. But I'm being straightforward, and I'm talking about some genuine concerns that we have to think about here. Because, okay, he admitted that if people start coming back sick, right, and they start coming back with these viruses and these diseases, they are going to let those people know. And they are also going to let the public know that how many people have come back sick, but it's against the law for them to tell us that person's name. So even if you find out that that several people got sick at Coastal Health and Wellness, you won't know if it's somebody that you interacted with, because they're not going to tell you their name. You see? So if they did get people sick, this thing could just be in the community rolling around, and there's no way to actually track down everybody that it has possibly gone to. So to even make the possibility of 9,500, now you have to take into consideration how many individuals those 9,500 have put at risk, and how many people those people have put at risk. And so this is what I started to tell him, and this is why I was telling him, he has to be thinking about, I'm trying to keep the people from coming up there with the pitchforks and the torches, because somebody needs to be held accountable. And when I went into my spiel about when I really demanded, because the guy, he was forthright with a lot of information. We had a good conversation. I didn't have to pry anything out of him. But when I let him know that what I'm trying to do now is get ahead of this thing, so that if someone does get sick, the community needs to know to hold responsible. And when I asked him about the people who should be held responsible, man, do you know that he told me that these individuals have already resigned? They just resigned this past Friday. Yeah, it was a lady named Mary McClure and Beverly Foster. So it's two women, they have already resigned. So what Coastal Health and Wellness is trying to do, they're trying to play chess. They know that if individuals start coming up sick, it's going to be time to pay the piper. And I'm not just talking about lawsuits, which lawsuits may come, but I'm talking about holding them accountable, and the community will be there to deal with them accordingly and to make sure that the proper steps are taken to hold them accountable and responsible for their actions. Okay, but what they've already did, they're trying to checkmate us. They're trying to checkmate the community by having them quietly resign and fade off into the night before we can actually confront them for their crimes against us. Right? But we're not going to let it happen because we know their names, Mary McClure and Beverly Foster. If you see this, if someone knows you and they tell you about this, just understand that you can't just do this type of thing in this community and think that you're just going to resign and fade off into the night. No, if people start coming back sick, you need to come before the public. You need to stand before the public, and the public needs to be able to address you guys directly. Okay? We need to be able to direct you guys. We need to be able to address you guys directly. Also, what I found out, if anybody is interested in addressing the board of directors for Coastal Health and Wellness, because I let the guy that's in charge of this operation, I let Mr. Randy Valson know that I will be in contact, which I will, and I will be giving you guys updates, because the last statistics that I heard, they had tested 500. And they said that they had gotten back 116 of the tests, and all of the 116 had come back negative. And so I asked him, were those numbers still current and valid? But he told me that they're constantly getting in test results, so he wasn't aware at the moment of the actual numbers. But he said that they had more test results come back since the time that they said 116, and he said that all of the ones that they had gotten so far were coming back negative. So that's a good sign so far. But what if everybody in the 9,500 don't go to get tested? But I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. A lot of you guys want justice. Because even if nobody gets sick, just exposing our community to this is a problem. So we need to know who we need to address. When can we address them? Where will these people be? We enough of the faceless, the faceless villain that's so far away you can never touch them and you can never reach them, and all you can do is just hoop, holler, and yell. No, I found out who they are, where they meet at, and how me and you and anybody else in the community can confront them to their faces for this. Coastal Health and Wellness is ran by a board of directors. That board of directors meets every last Thursday of every month. Get it? Think about it. At 12 noon. But think about it. The two individuals who may be at the end of this trail, who we would possibly be holding responsible, Ms. Mary McClure and Beverly Foster, they just resigned this past Friday. This Friday was after this last Thursday. This last Thursday was the last Thursday in the month of March. So they just had a board meeting this past Thursday, and after this board meeting, these two individuals resigned. And now they snuck back into the shadows into the end of this month, the last Thursday of April. So it will be April 26th, 2018 at noon. Address is 9850 Emmett F. Lowry Expressway, Texas City, Texas 77598 in Hallway A. They'll meet, and the public is welcome. Also, if you would like to speak at this board meeting, just get there before 12 and sign up. I'm going to be there unless something unavoidable happens, and I'm going to sign up to speak. Many of you should too. I'm going to let my children come, and I'm going to let my children speak about on how they feel as well. And they also want to get in on this video and just present some of their questions, because my children have questions for you guys. You all need to stand before the public and answer these questions. You are not going to be a nameless individual at the end of some road that I can never get to the end to. No, we know where you're at. We're coming to speak to you. We're going to speak to you as civilly as possible, but we want answers and we want someone to be held accountable. And resigning and trying to sneak off into the night is not okay. It's not okay to potentially expose over 9,000 people in our community to hepatitis and HIV and other viruses and think that you can just resign and fade off into the night. People are upset. People are afraid. People are curious and wondering how was this allowed to happen. And people, the older people, the youth, middle-aged individuals, people from all walks of life. So I just want to I want y'all to sit there, board members of Coastal Health and Wellness, and my children have a couple of questions for y'all. But just remember, if you want to make the meeting, reach out to me, or remember, it's April 26th, 2018. That's going to be the last Thursday of this month at 12 noon at really the same building that Coastal Health and Wellness and the Galveston Health Department, the Health District, the same building that they share, is 9850 9850 Emmett F. Lowry Expressway, Texas City, Texas 77591. And if you want to speak, all you have to do is get there before noon and sign up. Or you can just come and support, and I'm definitely going to speak. And if there's some concerns that you have, you can tell me. I'll present your concerns for you, as long as the list don't get too long. But let me go get my children and let them ask the people, the board of directors, a couple of questions. All right, so this is my daughter, Samaya J. Daniel. Samaya, I want you to talk to those board members.
So, the diseases, they are spread to other people, which includes you. So if I include you, it includes us. And we don't want that to happen. Your loved ones get included. Everyone get includes. Even, let's say, your little kids get included in that stuff. So I'm trying to be serious here, okay? Since I'm in a video with my dad, I'm serious. So my question is, I'm going to just say the question quickly, then move on. The question is, if you don't do something now, what's the point of doing it later? So my dad here said that I need to talk something to you. Well, I'm acting like a grown man, of course. So,
all right. So are we going to that meeting?
Yes.
And are we going to demand some answers from them board members?
And we're going to demand them.
Good job.
And I already have something to pour in your head, so just to be sure.
Okay.
All right, and so now we have my son Gabriel.
So I'm here to say, these people who are meant to protect us, the citizens of Texas City, Texas, they hire all these doctors, and they're so-called professionals, and they're also so-called doctors, to help us when we're sick or we have dental problems. And they're meant to help us with all that. But they're not cleaning their tools. They've used it on someone else, and now they're going to use it on another person. They're going to get a disease, then they're going to pass it to someone else, and to someone else. Then that will eventually turn into millions of people with the disease. And that sits in your body for 5 years, undetected. And they're sitting here like, I don't really care. They're not punishing the doctors or anything. Doctors resigned a few days ago. So they're like, oh, we can't punish them anymore. And all of us are getting diseases. What about the kids? What about the babies? What about the kids' parents, grandmas, uncles? I mean, they just want to have a good day, but they have to go to the doctor and get a disease.
Exactly. So are you going to that meeting?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to that meeting.
Are you going to look them in their eye and ask them some of these tough questions?
I'm going to look at them in their eye and I'm going to say, and if you don't do something now, you can't do anything later.
Exactly. So we want to see y'all there, all right? April 26, 2018, be there at noon. If you want to speak, be there a little bit before noon.